folks, we've made it to Wednesday, hump day on the hottest show in these streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you all in here checking out the show as we're bringing the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you know what the deal is. You hit that subscribe button right now. You smash subscribe, tap that subscribe button, get every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football, everybody you know to hit that subscribe button. You also get them to share the show on every platform, every friend they know, every family member that they know, because if you're feeling the content, they will as well. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up also. Like the show, tap the like button, give us that thumbs up here. Show that support. We appreciate that. The daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat going $100 right there. All donations welcomed and appreciated. Don't forget to also turn on that notification bell so that way you miss nothing. You kept up to date on all things Tide football. But got a lot to talk about this evening. We want to hear from you, the passionate Alabama fans. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. Gotta shout out my man Big Bill from New York with that $8 donation. The Super Chats, Bill, getting us started right here on a Wednesday. Appreciate my man Bill from New York helping us out on the show. But, you know, we start this conversation off like this. There is light at the end of the tunnel for Alabama freshman defensive back. Who am I referring to? I'm referring to none other than Tony Mitchell, the five-star, who's from Thompson High School, Alabaster, which is right here in this Birmingham area. Helped Thompson to multiple 7A state championships. And, when he came into this 2023 class, a lot of people had a lot of high hopes there for Tony Mitchell. What happened, unfortunately in March, he got into that situation in Florida where the marijuana, the money was concerned, the firearm, all of that took place there. He and another person down there in Florida. And so some people thought that it was going to be kind of rough there on Mitchell, but there is light here at the end of the tunnel here for him, and the light is on today. You had the court hearing today down there in Holmes County, Florida, and so Tony Mitchell pleaded no contest to the marijuana charges that were against him. He pleaded no contest. So with that being said, and the case closing, Tony Mitchell has this right here. He's got the 3 years probation with drug counseling. No jail time, no prison time. Light at the end of the tunnel for a young man of whom our own Justin Smith, the director of scouting and recruiting for Touchdown Alabama magazine, spent a lot of time around Tony Mitchell since he was in the 8th grade. This is not a bad kid. This is a very sound young man. Just not the best decision at that time for him to be in. Very much so remorseful. Has been remorseful about it since it happened back in March. I know currently he is suspended from the team and team activities, but this is a very good sign here, for Mitchell. Despite all that happened, no prison time, no jail time, pleaded no contest today to the marijuana charges, the felony marijuana charges, and he's been hit with here 3 years probation. When he gets here, he had to pay $1,560. He'll have 100 hours of community service to do there, over 3 years probation, and then of course the drug counseling thing right there. So that's what Tony Mitchell will have to serve. That's what he will have to do. And the positive side in all of this is, if he can go back to Coach Saban and be like, Coach, I messed up. Coach, I messed up. I learned from it. I'm remorseful from it. I'm ready to put this behind me, make myself better, make my team better, help make the program better. If he's able to go out there and do that, then we could see a situation where Tony Mitchell could have maybe a 2 to 4 game suspension, because Coach Saban is going to, handle that thing internally. You can see a 2 to 4 game suspension for Tony Mitchell, but at some point when he's able to be back out there on the field, playing on the field, he would be able to be back out there, on the field and have that mindset of, hey, this was almost nearly taken away from me, and I'm going to show how grateful, how thankful I am to have this opportunity back, and that it could have been worse, but it's not as bad as it could have been. So for Tony Mitchell here, once again, had the court hearing today down there, Holmes County, Florida. No prison time, no jail time, pleaded no contest to the felony marijuana charges, a situation that happened back in the month of March. He will have 3 years probation, community service, and you're looking at the drug counseling there for one Tony Mitchell. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting you started here on a Wednesday. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We get into a dialogue with you, the Tide fans, right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back to the action right here from the break on the hottest show on these streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Continue hitting that like button, tapping that subscribe button, making this your show, your space, your area to talk all things Tide football. That daily super chat go $100 daily. Super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate the love coming from you guys. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
From New York. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, Bill. Glad to have you back in here, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm pretty much back to normal. I was doing my gardening, planting tomatoes and peppers. It's looking good.
Happy to hear it, Bill. Love it.
Thank you, Stephen. Listen, I was listening to Coach Saban and how he got accosted in Italy. And I think that's funny, because he was talking about it's the brand, and he's right. I walk around wearing a lot of Alabama stuff, you know what I mean? Stephen, I'm getting Roll Tides all over the place. I'm getting the women, men, black, white, they're screaming Roll Tide. I mean, some of them are getting crazy. We have a following in New York. It's wild, but it made me think about being a fan. And, I was thinking about it, and here we are worried. Last year, we lost 2 games by 4 points combined, right?
Right.
And I think I think with Bryce, if he was on this year's team, I think we'd go undefeated. Now, we have 5 quarterbacks. Am I right? We got 5 quarterbacks now?
5, yes.
Okay, well, I'm calming down because I think the worst one we have, I don't know who that would be, but I think the worst one we have would probably win 8 or 9 games. This team might be better than last year's because I think the offensive line is going to beat people up, and it's going to tire out the defensive linemen from putting pressure on the quarterback and everything. I think our receivers should be better than last year. I know the running back room is going to be deeper. We might have a guy on the team that we don't know. He could be better than Jameer. You don't know. You got this promising freshman, my man Jamarian Miller, and Jace, he might be a less acrobatic Najee. You know what I mean? It's possible. We look good. I think the defense is going to be better, even losing Will. It looks like it's more complete, the defense as a whole. So I don't know who the top quarterback is going to be. They're going to find one, and but then you think about it, it's up to the coaches, and we have Coach Saban, so I'm going to stress no more. I'm going to be the happy Bill now. I'm going to walk around. I'm not going to stress it out. We're going to win. And what do you think, Steven?
I mean, Bill, I was at Coach Saban's golf tournament on yesterday, and just the excitement on the faces of the coaches, the excitement coming off of Kevin Steele, the energy from everybody in that room, they know what they have. This is an Alabama program that knows what it has. I think the quarterback will solve itself out, but everybody else around that position, Coach Saban, Kevin Steele, Tommy Rees, coaches on defense, they know exactly what they have. So I'm excited.
That's excellent to hear. Well, listen, I'm not going to tie you up. Thanks a lot for taking my call, man. We'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Bill from New York calling in. Appreciate him. Guys, shout out my man Joseph with that $19.99 in the Super Chats. Joseph dropping in that $19.99. Helping us out here, showing love on the show. Dancing, Steven, appreciating that. Getting down to business right there. 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. We get this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, man, this is Ty Alexander, man, from Huntsville. What's up, man?
Doing good, man, and yourself?
Good, brother, good, man. I just wanted to call because, man, I'm not going to lie. Everybody's talking about the quarterback situation. I saw Tyler Buckner. I saw the Notre Dame and South Carolina game, the bowl game. And I'm not going to lie. He wasn't that bad. I'm just being honest. The dude had like 350 total yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for 2 touchdowns. And, Steven, we all know that toward the end of the season, South Carolina was one of the hottest teams in the country.
Right.
I mean, beating Clemson, beating Tennessee. And that defensive front was tearing up that Notre Dame O-line. I don't know if you saw the game, but I said to myself, you know what, dude come down here, he learned the system. I think he's a serious threat, man, to be the starter for real.
I mean, he's got the feather in his cap of having Tommy Rees as the offensive coordinator, and Tommy Rees was the OC at Notre Dame, with Buckner prior to him making the move to Tuscaloosa. So he's got that in the cap. The thing for Buckner is going to be is how quickly does he adjust to the learning curve? Because you're coming to a complete culture shock coming from Golden Dome, Notre Dame, touchdown Jesus to University of Alabama, where the expectation is, hey, you better help produce a championship. So it's a completely different expectation. It's a completely different culture shock. Does Tyler Buckner have the mental capacity to deal with that? If he's got the mental capacity to deal with that and the learning curve is not strenuous for him, then things can be very interesting in Tuscaloosa, but that's the biggest question.
Man, I totally agree, man. But like I said, I was impressed with that game. That's all I wanted to say. Roll Tide, brother. Love the show. And thanks for taking my call, brother.
Absolutely appreciate the call right there coming in to the studio right here. Like I said, for Tyler Buchner, just to me, Eli, if he can handle the culture of Alabama, if he can handle the expectations that's going to be put upon him, right? And if he adjusts quickly to the learning curve, he'll be okay. If there's struggles with any of those things, then it's going to probably take him a minute. Guys, shout out to my_moment10 with that $4.99 in the super chats, helping us out there. My_moment10 showing us some love here on the channel. But cool call topic right now as you guys are continuing to get your thoughts in. 205-448-1358, the number right there. 205-448-1358. How about DJ Fluker? Former Alabama offensive tackle, former All-American offensive tackle, DJ Fluker is getting another opportunity at the National Football League. He earned a workout today for the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman, Jeff Lurie, Nick Sirianni, they're trying to continue to build the offensive line. So they called in DJ Fluker for a workout. The same Fluker that was at Alabama's Pro Day back on March 23rd, and the brother took over. Has lost over 40 pounds, looks great, powerful, agile, quick. Looks like he can still play. So hopefully the workout there for Fluker went very well, and he can make this roster here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Fluker, who came out of Foley High School, South Alabama, in that 2009 recruiting class. Fluker, a part of 3 BCS national championship teams, 2009, 2011, and 2012 for your Crimson Tide. But we take a break right here, folks, from the show. On Touch That Down, when we get back, we get into a conversation about here about, man, golly, had the thought, just lost it. Oh yeah. Appreciate that, Eli. Golly, I just lost the thought again. You know what? When we come back, I will get to real conversation is. I will figure it out. It's a Wednesday. We'll be back to talk Bama football after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, folks, as we're back into the action from the break, number 1 forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting the like button, tapping that subscribe button, making this your spot here for all things Bama football. That daily super chat go, $100 daily super chat go. We appreciate you guys, but I finally got everything back centered right here. Conversation on Nick Saban in this Alabama quarterback room and trying to get this entire situation here figured out. Once again, Eli, you and I were at the Nick's Kids charity golf event, Birmingham, here in this area on yesterday. And, Coach Saban mentioned how, Alabama's in a very unique situation for this upcoming season. You got 5 quarterbacks from the roster. This is the first time I've seen 5 scholarship quarterbacks on one roster when you discuss Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner, Dylan Larnigan, and Eli Holston. You got 5 guys on the roster. So for a lot of the fans out here, and we as Alabama football consumers, our question is typically, who's the guy? who becomes the guy, who's standing out, who's leading the pack, who's starting to pull away, which guy gives you the best chance to win a national championship, which guy gives you the best chance to have a really, really strong team. Those are the questions, thoughts, concerns that have us kind of on the edge of our seat, as people. But for Coach Saban, he's a little bit deeper than that. He likes to discuss how can we as coaches develop these guys better, teach these guys better, inform these guys better, train these guys better, have these guys better prepared to be the quarterback, the leader, the signal caller that we want them to become. And Coach Saban was asked about 2 or 3 questions about the biggest challenge here in the summer in terms of working with the quarterbacks. And he mentioned that the biggest challenge is being able to kind of evaluate with the guys what was done well in the spring, and then how can we improve upon those things in the summer workouts, and most importantly, fall camp, when you've got so many of the coaches, they're out there recruiting, right? They're on the recruiting trail. So this is Coach Saban and a lot of these support staff guys. They're in Zoom meetings with these quarterbacks, breaking down film, looking at tendencies, looking at different numbers and formations and strategy of, okay, this is what you did last year. This is what you did in spring ball that helped. This is what you did last year in spring ball that did not help. So what can we do to take away this, eliminate this, negate this, but build on this, strengthen this, improve this, so that way we can have the full package player that we want at the quarterback position. Because everybody learns differently. Jalen Milroe learns differently from Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson learns differently from Tyler Buckner. Tyler Buckner learns differently to Dylan Larnigan and Eli Holstein. So you got 5 guys. They have different skill sets, different traits. They all learn differently. But in what way as a coach or coaches on the staff can you improve the techniques of all of these guys so that with a guy that does rise to the top, you know what you're getting? And so this is what Nick Saban and Tommy Rees, more importantly, is what they're putting upon themselves. What can we do to develop this quarterback position to where whomever wins the job, once we put them out there on that field week 1 against Middle Tennessee State, week 2, Texas, and throughout the season, we got a guy that's putting us in the best position here to win football games. So that's the big challenge for Coach Saban. That's the biggest challenge for Tommy Rees. Biggest challenge for the support staff is finding different ways to help these guys learn what they're trying to get them to do out there on the field. Because all 5 guys are talented. All 5 guys. Milroe, we know, one heck of an athlete, has made some improvement here in the passing game. Can he make more improvement? You look at Ty Simpson, he's got legs on him. He can run. He's a dual threat. He's athletic. Can offer you a bit more in the passing game. Then you look at Tyler Buckner, who's got more on-field in-game experience than all of these guys on the roster. He's played 13 games at Notre Dame. You go back and you watch the Tax Layer Gator Bowl against South Carolina. He did some big stuff in that game. Gutsy performance. Led the Irish to a 45-38 win. You go back to high school, the Bishop School, his junior year, Tyler Buckner was putting up Xbox numbers. We're talking about over 4,000 yards passing, 53 touchdown passes, 5 picks, over 1,600 yards rushing, 28 rushing touchdowns. He was putting up big numbers before the COVID year hit in 2020, and he didn't have a season, which set him back a little bit there in his development. And then you got Dylan Larnigan and Eli Holstein. They both bring their own sets of tools and talents to the table. So all 5 guys bring something. But what does the coaching staff do, right, to help these guys learn, thrive, grow, develop, so whichever one pops out as the number 1 guy, hopefully they can pop out before fall camp ends or during fall camp. But the number one guy that does pop out, it's a guy that can take you to, a national championship, college football playoff, and win that. So, very interesting thoughts from Coach Saban on yesterday. You talk about the quarterbacks. He mentioned, hey, all of these guys learn differently. What can we do as a coaching staff to put these young men in the best position to win and groom the guy that comes out as a starter within this rotation of 5 guys? So it's going to be fun to study this throughout summer workouts and throughout fall camp, because all 5 guys are working. Jalen Milroe's working. Ty Simpson's working. Once Tyler Buckner gets in, he'll be working. He's probably working prior to even coming in here. You got Dylan Larnagin working. Eli Holstein working. Everybody's trying to prove themselves to be, the guy. But come summer workouts, fall camp, that's going to be a fun conversation right there. But we'll take another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, people. When we get back, we return to those phone lines. We pick up your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Hey, line us up. We want to hear from you after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99, and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, we're back in here to the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets. We're talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you in here, and happy to have that $10 donation from Nona Davis. Guys, shout out Nona, dropping in that $10 in here to the Super Chats, helping us out. Dancing Stephen, appreciating that as well. That daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily Super Chat Go. We appreciate that right there. And then Eric Beasley is in here with a $20 donation. Eric Beasley showing us some love here as well. Appreciate all of you guys dropping the Super Chats in, showing your unwavering support here to the show. We love it. We absolutely love it. But as we're back in here to take your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this is Joey O from Alpharetta. Stephen, love your show.
Appreciate it, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. And hey, Stephen, just a simple question. I mean, Alabama football over the last couple of years, I've just noticed a difference between how they push the middle of the line on the offensive and defensive side. And given the talent that they have and the coaches that they have, where do you see them ranking in the SEC?
I think in terms of the offensive and defensive line, man, I think that's coming back. I think that's coming back, and they should be near the top because offensive line, Eric Wolford did a phenomenal job with this 2023 class, pulling in some big-time freshmen, and they're all 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and taller, 330 pounds plus. When you look at Caden Proctor, Miles McVay, Wilkin Formby, Olas Anganine, and Rock Montgomery, these dudes can all play. They can all play. I mean, there's a good chance you're going to see one freshman start on this offensive line, more than likely Caden Proctor. But don't be shocked if 2 freshmen start. Don't be shocked if Olas Anganine or Miles McVay, they sneak up in that rotation and they start with that first team, offensive unit. I think the defensive line, Freddie Roach, has a firm understanding now. You got to use the entire rotation. You can't just use a couple of guys. You got Jaheim Otis. You've got T.M. Smith, Jamil Burrows, Jamarian Latham, Tim Keenan. You got several dudes, so you got to use what you have. So I look at the offensive line, defensive lines, both should be near the top of the SEC.
Thank you, Stephen, and Roll Tide.
Appreciate Joey there calling in there from Georgia to the show. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, how you doing, Stephen? My name's Micah from Dallas, Georgia. Just wanted to call in and give you a shout out, man. Thanks for everything you do. Just really actually looking at the team and thinking, listening to your show, what Coach Saban and other coaches have been able to do in past years, they've been able to get every player to believe that they're the best player in the country. And they were all assembled on this team to win a championship, and they all believed in that. You hear that from multiple past players. If they can get all of these guys to buy into that system and believe that everything that we've been talking about the quarterback, about the defensive line, offensive line, and whomever else, all that's out the window. Because if you've ever played football, everybody knows that football is about heart speed. You can put the biggest, baddest athlete on the field, but if he ain't got no heart speed, he's going to get knocked out just like anybody else. So I think that, if those guys just believe in themselves, believe in the team, and believe in what the coaches are selling them, what the coaches are telling them, and asking them to do, and just go out there and do it, I think that you're going to see a championship caliber team from week one all the way to the end of the season. And, like I said again, shout out to you guys and what you're doing on your show. And big shout out to Tony Mitchell. I hope he gets things turned around and start making right choices for himself and his family.
Absolutely. Appreciate Michael there calling in from Georgia. And I agree with the statement of the buy-in's important. Everybody's got to be balled in on this team. And it looks like everybody is balled in on this team. For the most part, the coaches are balled in. The support staff's balled in. The players are balled in. I mean, my thing is here, and I've always said this, week 2 of a season, we're going to see what Alabama's made of. Because that week, Texas rolls in to Bryant-Denny. Steve Sarkisian comes in with the offense he's got, of a defense that they have over there. That's going to be the game right there. If Alabama comes out there fully bought in, locks Texas completely up, that's going to be insane. So that week 2 matchup, we're going to see first and foremost what is Alabama, what is this version of Alabama, week 2 out the gate early against Texas. But we grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, my boy Steven? This is your boy Noah from Virginia. How you, my man?
Doing good, knowing yourself.
I'm doing good. I'm sorry I missed your show, bud. I was I went mowing, bud. I hear you talking about Ty Sims or Jamin Roan. Who's the quarterback now start out this year?
Well, right now, Noah, Milroe and Simpson are both working. They're both doing a lot this summer. We're going to see. I mean, once everybody gets back on campus for the fall camp practices, we going to see. But both of them have been putting in a ton of work.
Yes, Stephen, I hope we can beat Texas. I hear you talking about Texas. I hope we can beat them. They're easy to beat. I know Hooker, he's gone. I like to see we can beat LSU this year. All that. I hope we not they go back down. Do not drop. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at this team. You got Texas on the schedule. You got to beat Texas. You got LSU on the schedule. You got Tennessee on the schedule. We appreciate Noah calling in there from Virginia. Bama's got several teams. Absolutely, Bama's got several teams on this schedule that they've got to play. And you gotta beat Texas at home. You gotta beat Tennessee at home. You gotta beat LSU at home. Yes, you got Ole Miss. You have Ole Miss at home also, so you gotta take care of that team. But you got some guys on the road. You have Auburn on the road that you gotta take care of. But that Texas, Tennessee, LSU, those 3 games. You got to handle business, all 3 of those matchups. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this is Chris out of Dallas, Texas. What's going on? What's going on with Jeremy Pruitt, man? A big shout out to you and thank you for what you do and keep up your good work.
What's going on with Jeremy Pruitt? After the meeting with the NCAA, Chris, back April 19th to the 21st. So the first week of June is when the stuff will come out from that April meeting. So we're looking at now that first week of June, first week of definitely in the next couple of weeks here. We could get ready to hear what took place, what went down from that meeting with the NCAA in regards to Pruitt here and what happened at Tennessee. In my honest opinion, from what I've been told, it's still been kind of quiet. I'm still expecting for Pruitt to arrive as an analyst on this Alabama football coaching staff, but we will see as the news comes out of what took place in April. It'll be out in June.
All right. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for all you do.
Absolutely. Chris, they're calling in from Dallas, Texas. We appreciate that right there. So everybody's waiting here on pins and needles here for that first week of June. What transpires here from all that happened April 19th to the 21st, where the NCAA is concerned, involving Jeremy Pruitt and the stuff that happened there during his time as the head coach of Tennessee. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
This is Mike from Chicago. How's it going, Steve?
Doing great, Mike, and yourself?
I'm doing good. I think the quarterback decision is going to come down who will master pre- and post-game snaps. So who can read the defense before when that ball is hiked, who can read the defense, that's going to be the key. Because each quarterback can deliver the ball. Everybody talks about Jalen Monroe. When you think about the Texas A&M game when he played, he hit 3 strikes for for touchdowns during that game. Each player can play. Each player can deliver the ball. Each player has athletic ability to be mobile. I just think that Saban is not happy with the post-snap reads and as well as the pre-snap reads. Because if anybody ever noticed, you go back to the A-Day game, he made a statement when he was getting interviewed that nobody's hitting the tight end. They're playing cover 2 at the end of the game, and that's all they've been playing. And the tight end's running down the middle of the field free, and nobody was hitting them. And I think that's the thing that he is totally upset about, post and pre-snap reads. I think whoever masters that will have this team all the way to the end of the season. Tyler Buckner, I think he'll be transferring. I think Ty Simpson and Milroe, we're in good hands with either one of those who play. Both of those two are in good hands. So, as I always say, roll Tide.
Appreciate Mike from Chicago calling in. He makes a great point there. Pre- and post-snap reads, very important. Who can pick out what the defense is in pre-snap reads, go through those progressions correctly, and then post-snap, making the right decision with the football, knowing where you want to go to, but then understanding, hey, if there's a better option, be willing to come off an option and go to the better option. That's what made Tua Tagovailoa good. That's what made Mac Jones when he became his final year as a starting quarterback 2020. That's what made Bryce Young so good. Yes, you may have a preconceived idea, I want to go to player X right here, but if player Z gives you the better route, if player Z gives you the better matchup, you got to be willing to come off of player X and go straight to player Z and be able to do that in a timely fashion. So those pre-snap reads, post-snap reads, highly critical here, and whichever one of these guys can make those consistently, absolutely starting quarterback material right there. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up with you, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Man, Jay, what's going on, brother?
Man, I just seen Tony Mitchell got 3 years probation. Is he still on the team or how'd it go?
He's still on the team. He's suspended from team activities, but he's not been kicked off the team. He is still on the roster. He's still training and working with different guys. The good news is, with all of this, with it being no prison time, no jail time, nothing like that. He'll have to serve the community service and do the drug counseling, drug treatment things there. You go back to Coach Saban, Coach, I messed up. I learned that lesson. That will not happen. I'm on straight shot from here on out. And Coach Saban understanding that part of it, Tony Mitchell could probably have a 2 to 4 game suspension, depending on how Saban chooses to handle that. And then once that suspension's over, if Tony can find his way onto that field, he can find his way onto that field.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good news or not, man, because I know if he wasn't an athlete, it wouldn't have went like that. So I don't know, man. That man needs to pick better friends for sure. But I'm off that. That quarterback, I think Tyler Buckner got it, man. I'm about like you. I went back and watched some old high school highlights of him, and yeah, man. To me, he got the juice. He got injured at Notre Dame. That's really the only thing that set him back last year. I don't think he came for no reason.
I'll say this. I mean, Jay, when I went back and I watched Buckner's high school tape, I'm like, there's a lot here. There's a lot here. I think the only thing that kind of worries me with him is when he tries to throw off his back foot. We know that takes accuracy off the ball. That takes a little velocity off the ball. When you're trying to throw off your back foot, you may have a little bit too much confidence there in the arm talent. But when he steps into throws, it's pretty. It is very pretty. When he steps into throws and when he's able to use his dual threat ability, it is something to watch.
He was ranked above Miro coming out of high school too, but I'm off of him too though, because that it's gonna be really be up to Nick and who he's feeling, and Middle Tennessee State, there's gonna be like a tryout game for 3-4 quarterbacks. So I feel like that.
I mean,
yeah, we're gonna have to get physical, man. We got to get physical, and we like 9-10 deep, man. Freddie Rose got to play the whole rotation this year, man.
He's going to have to. We talked about it, Jay, all off season so far. You can't just play a couple of guys. You got to get all of your athletes on this field, on the defensive line, keep bodies fresh, rotate these guys. It's time to really see what Bama has in all of these 4 and 5 stars that you recruited. It's just time to see them. Bama went out there, they didn't recruit these guys, they didn't sign their name on the dotted line. Now let's see them. Put them out there, let's see them.
Harry and guys like that, like we got some big names in the D-line that just sitting there. Jamil Biro and all of them guys, we've been looking for these guys at least for 2 years now. And it's like they just not getting no playing time because of the rotation. But roll tide, y'all, man, we got to set the tone for the rest of the decade, guys. This is it. I hope the coaches understand that, man. Roll tide. Let's bring the pain, man. I love y'all.
Appreciate Jay calling in from Florence there to the show. Always good to hear from Jay, getting his perspective here on a Wednesday. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Roll Tide there, Stephen. What's going on?
William, doing great, man. Doing great. I mean, you got Alabama softball is in the Super Regionals. Jayla Torrance, shout out to her. What a job she did, and on the mound pitching. And when you look at this, is the last year of Montana Fouch. You get a girl in Jayla Torrance going out there dealing. You got Bama in the Supers. That's fantastic. Bama baseball has come alive. I mean, after letting go of Coach Bohannon, I don't know what's gotten into the Bama baseball program, but they've won 11 straight. I mean, they're ripping it off right now.
Yeah, Alabama's doing it too, man, in them other sports there. But I just want to say you got to love Jay, man, from Florence. I really love that dude there, sure do.
I mean, the guy's just passionate about his football program and just wants to see the dominance both sides of the ball for Alabama, like we all do. We all want to see Alabama do its thing on offense and defense. I mean, to me, the quarterback play will solve itself. Whoever wants is going to come up and take it. But to me, it's about everybody around the quarterback position doing their jobs. And right now this summer, everybody is putting in the work to do their job.
Yes, sir. And you spoke of passion just then, and I want to add to that. We've got two that's already said that they want to become starters. Jalen Key's one of them, and then we already got Dylan Lonergan on there that said that they're going to be starters. And I want to get your take on what Coach Saban how he, and if he takes that into consideration on that. And I'll get off because I think Dylan Lonergan done a great job in the spring game. And roll Tide always, Stephen.
Appreciate William calling in there from Iowa. Dylan Lonergan did do a fine job in the spring game. Was 8 of 14 passing, 79 yards, had an 80-yard touchdown drive. Found Justice Haynes there for the score. And Lonergan's going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to progress. I mean, as a freshman, he's got tools. He's going to continue to get bigger in the weight room, stronger in the weight room, and in the nutrition things. But he's got tools there. Now, as far as Jalen Key is concerned, the safety transfer from UAB, 44 games of experience last year for the Blazers, was an honorable mention for Conference USA. 60 tackles, 4.5 of those for loss, 3 interceptions. The thing for him is going to be, once he arrives on campus, how quickly does he jump out the page and just grab your attention, right? Because he's competing against Malachi Moore. He's competing against Caleb Downs. He's competing against Christian Story. He's competing against Jake Pope. He's competing against Devontae Smith. He's competing against so many other defensive backs in that safety room for both of those safety jobs. So for Jalen Key, the moment he gets into Tuscaloosa, how much attention can he grab? If he jumps off the page instantly, it could be very fun. It could be very fun. If he doesn't jump off the page instantly, does he have the mental capacity to play the role that he may be asked to play by the coaching staff? So that's the big thing there when you look at Jalen Key. But we grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Stephen? This is Jason from Tennessee.
Jason, what's going on?
Not much, brother. I just got one question for you today.
Go ahead.
I got a question about two of our incoming freshmen that's coming in this summer, Keon Keeley and Johannes Pierre. I know they've got Chris Braswell and Dallas Turner in front of them, but do you see them making any kind of impact this season, or are they just mainly future prospects?
I'll say this, Jason. When I look at Keon Keeley, just his athletic body type, if he could come in here and tear it up fall camp, like grab Saban's attention, Coleman Hutzler's attention, teammates' attention, he could possibly see some action in some nickel and dime sub packages. Like if he could come in here fall camp and rip it up and just set it on fire, his body type, Keon Keeley could see something. Johannes Pierre, kind of the same thing. If he can come in here and rip this thing up in fall camp and have folks going, who on earth is that dude? He can see some action. But it all comes down to when fall camp takes off in August, for both of these two, how much attention, how much field can they set on fire the moment they get in here?
Yeah, it's been a long off season, man. I'm just ready for this season to get started. Roll Tide, brother.
Appreciate Jason calling in from Tennessee. Everybody is ready for this season. This is one Alabama season that everybody on pins and needles, they're hungry about it. They're ready for this thing to get started. We got to shout out everybody in the Super Chats. This thing is going off. So we're going to pull it up here, Eli. So we're shouting out everybody. I know we didn't hit over the goal. So go ahead and pull it up, Eli, so we can get everybody their love here right now. We got Aaron McGuire with that $2 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate the man, Aaron McGuire. And then we got throw some fire on the Commander-in-Chief of the Super Chats, Jimmy Batman, throw that money in the bank, Clay, with $114 he thrown in here. Appreciate Jimmy Clay. My man Bill from New York then walked back in here with $502 in the Super Chats. We're well over that $100 donation. Thanks to all of you guys. Y'all make my job fun. Y'all make my job easier. Y'all make this job worth doing. Eli makes this job worth doing also in the production room. Absolutely, he does. Eli, I want you to hear me over there. You make this job worth doing. But y'all, the fans, absolutely. Y'all make this job fun. We're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Mike from Kentucky. What's up, my brother?
Doing great, Mike, and yourself?
Doing pretty good. Been working on a house for a friend of mine. We're going to have some twins coming, so we had to add on a room.
Gotta do it, man. Ain't nothing like some home improvement adding to the family, man.
Yeah, it's about $40,000 room addition. Man, I've been thinking about the running game, and I went back and watched some old school Bama. You know, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, you know, guys like that. Those guys were brutal, the way they carried the football. Do we have a guy in the room this year that can fit that mold? I mean, honestly, what do you think? I was like, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, brother?
I think a guy in the room that could fit that mold, Mike, would be Roydell Williams. I think Roydell could honestly fit that mold. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's yoked up, he's physical. He can run behind the pads, empty the tackles. He could do that. He could fit that role. The question would be is that, you know, who has the hot hand early at the running back position? I know Saban and Robert Gillespie, they want to give everybody a chance to touch the football, and I understand that. But Saban also is the type that if there's a hot hand in the room, he's going to want to ride that also, i.e. Derrick Henry when he had the hot hand. Najee Harris when he had the hot hand. You know, guys in the past, when they have had that hot hand, Saban says, whoa, we're going to ride this till the wheels falling off. So as much as I look at a Roydell Williams that perfectly, in my opinion, fits that role, it's also who starts the year as the hot hand.
I mean, if we're going to try and pound the rock this year, I mean, we got to have a guy that fits that mold, you know?
You got to. I mean, you got to. And especially when it comes down to the second half of games, the third and the fourth quarter, where you got a guy that's just pounding them, and the opposition's like, I'm done. I can't take this. I'm done with this. I mean, I go back to 2015 season, Derrick Henry, every bit of 239, 240 pounds. Once it got in the third and fourth quarter, people were tired of trying to hit number 2 Derrick Henry.
His senior year in the Iron Bowl, he wore Auburn thin, son. I remember that game. But, yeah, we got to have a guy to step up and fit that role if we're going to pound the rock, man. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, we ought to have talent, but I mean, if you look at the stats on the spring game, you know, everybody's so high on Justice Haynes. I mean, they gave him the ball inside the 5-yard line twice, threw it to him once, let him run it once, but he only averaged 2.4 yards a pop that day. I was expecting him to show a little more than that. You know, it all shake out, man. I'm like everybody else. I can't wait for this thing to get started. Roll dadgum Tide, brother.
Appreciate Mike from Kentucky calling in. This is the season every Alabama fan is definitely gearing up for, but got an awesome call topic here, Eli. This one goes to Alabama wide receiver Isaiah Bond, giving fans a taste of what they could expect from him as a sophomore. As a freshman last year, Bond, 17 catches, 220 receiving yards, did have a 6-yard touchdown reception from Bryce Young in the All-State Sugar Bowl against Kansas State in New Orleans. So now Isaiah Bond is giving us a taste here. You're seeing it on screen of what we can expect to see from him in the upcoming fall as a sophomore for your Crimson Tide. Looking forward to seeing him as one of the marquee vertical deep ball threat receivers, getting behind the secondary, creating big plays. Look forward to watching that from Isaiah Bond there. We're going to go to our final break here on the show. On Touch That Down when we get back. No Bama in the NFL talk discussion here. Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle in Dolphins OTAs right now. There's something different about both of these two. What is it? Could it lead to the Dolphins having a big playoff run in the fall? We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Bama Nation, I gotta appreciate you guys today. Back into the action here from the break. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Thank you for all the phone calls, all the YouTube chats, all the donations coming in here, making this your spot to talk nothing but Crimson Tide football. Continue hitting the like button, hitting that subscribe button, sharing the show to everybody that you know across the landscape. But, we wrap things up with this right here, some Bama and the NFL discussion. So all 32 NFL teams, they're in organized team activities, OTAs, as of right now. And for the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle, there's something different about both of these two. They are both bigger now. They are bigger. They are stronger. They've put on some muscle, some serious muscle. Tua Tagovailoa looks like he's 230 pounds of muscle now. This calf muscles look thick. Shoulders, chest, back. The jiu-jitsu training looks like it's going extremely well. He's put on the mask to where he can deal with some contact. He can take some hits and not have injuries. And this is huge. He's firing darts in OTAs, slinging the ball everywhere, being incredibly accurate. He's looking real good in organized team activities right now. And all the talk of, Tua, from a lot of these national people, they got him toward the bottom tier of AFC quarterbacks. He's looking to shut that conversation up here in the fall. Man, I'm excited to see what Tua does here. And then for Jalen Waddle, he's added some mass to his frame. He's talking about, hey, I'm looking forward to not just juking guys out the way and running by guys, but running through guys and running over guys. I'm like, man, Jalen Waddle running over guys? Oh, man. Jalen Waddle putting his shoulder into guys? This is going to be something to see right here. We already know the absolute track meet of speed. When you talk Waddle, Tyreek Hill, now you add Devon A-Chain from the draft, running back out of Texas A&M. But now Waddle talking about being stronger, lowering his shoulder, running through people. And you got Tua Tagovailoa looking like an army tank out there, ripping the football. Okay, Miami. Okay, Mike McDaniel. Let's see what we got here. Especially the AFC East. When you look at the Bills with Josh Allen, the New England Patriots, Mac Jones is going to be much better than what he was a season ago. And then you got the New York Jets, who made a deal to get Aaron Rodgers. We're going to see how that plans out. But Tua Tagovailoa down there in Miami looks great. OTAs going well. bigger muscle mass. Jalen Waddle, more muscle to his frame. Dolphins may be a team to watch this upcoming season. See, can they make a deep playoff run? Could they potentially make a shot at the Super Bowl? Definitely going to keep my eyes on the Miami Dolphins. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, material, conversation. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. Now, you download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone for your audio needs, check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. Got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. Gotta shout out Jimmy Clay one more time for the barbecue. A $34 donation in the Super Chats from the man Jimmy Clay. Appreciate him. And shout out to all of you, the Bama fans, for all the phone calls, all the donations, all the Super Chats, all the YouTube chatting. You doing what you do to make this your show every day of the week, or 3 days a week. Talking Bama football. Gotta show some love to my man Enoch Walker in the production studio, holding things down. Until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue to do it the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there as summer vacation is in session for you guys. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.